Namaste, Guruji.
Namaste.
Over the 4 years since I consciously met you, my life has changed enormously, and I've learned so many things. And over the last few months, the isness was constantly present. And yesterday afternoon, after the satsang, I was marinating, and it was completely gone. Totally inaccessible. I did the invitation, I did self-inquiry, and it was just...
Tell me where it went so we can go look for it.
Yeah. No, I'll...
What it means, you go, you see. I'm very curious when, like this, so how it means, what it means, how it feels for you when you say that. Is it that the whole persona seems to have come back? What is it? What's happened?
Yeah, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
What happened then was, when we came to satsang, suddenly I realized that all that I had learned was gone.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
The whole spiritual person, everything that was the most important thing in my life, was gone.
Seems good.
And that's why it didn't work anymore. And it's such a relief.
Yeah, I was going to say, it doesn't sound so bad.
It's such grace.
Yes.
Oh, Guruji, it's beyond words.
Yes, yes. Very good. What remained then? All that, even you say the aspiration, the belief in spiritual life, a spiritual person, all of this, all that you learn, you say, all that you learned, it's gone. What remained then? Only that which cannot go. It even cannot come, because it never came. It cannot go. Cannot be described. We say when we count, normally we count 1, 2, 3, 4, and onward we go, like that. We don't say 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Start 1. So sometimes I would say, be at 0. You be 0. So when the population count is made, you will not be registered. You are 0, no? And then somebody want to be sub-0 also, sub-0. But there's nothing here at this place, there are no numbers, there are no zeros, no concept beyond all concepts, even concept of 0, even concept of emptiness, you see. So indescribably you cannot speak about it. And I say, upon the recognition or the realization of this, profoundly, mind will continue, of course, will dance, it's okay, it's dancing. Even the sense of self, is there, come. But this discovery underlies, it is the substratum itself, underlies all experiencing, is in this. So one continues somehow a seeming paradox that there continues to be a kind of a deepening, a maturing will continue happening against the background of unchanging awareness. These words are not for our head. Watch them as they disappear internally into some place that cannot be recognized with the eyes in your head. Something we quickly run out of words. If you find that there's some disappointment, oh, but I want to have the words, the facility of words. Yes, later, now. What is your reading? What is your classification? What category do you belong? You see? This is... And of course, some would think, but what is the value of such a thing? What's the value of such a thing? And no one can evaluate the presence of the Supreme Self. If we want someone to recognize this and to say, oh look, then we are still in the dream, even if no one recognizes it. You're home, you see. So this sense, something will still sit, you will still sit, and it will be your joy to confirm. And the life has not stopped. The life in its dynamic expression will continue, and your body will be here, your intelligence will be here, presence will be here, expressing. So, thank you.
Thank you, Guruji. Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you.
I spoke to you last week in Satsang in Untertiteln. And I mentioned that I'm seeking most of my life, and particularly the last 20 years. And that last week I felt a sense of spaciousness opening up. But this week it feels kind of shut down. And yet there was a small kind of reopening while listening to the music this morning.
Yes.
For me it feels like this door you talk about a lot. You knock and it opens and you're inside the door. The door is not opening for me, and that feels like it's been like that in all my seeking years. And it's a big deal for me to be here at last. And my fear is that I will go home next week and still not be changed in the way that I want, that I seek.
Yes.
So when I when I listen to somebody like the last man who spoke so beautifully, I feel like I'm a failure, that I'm an outsider, knocking,
and nothing much ever happens. And yet, I've been seeking vehemently for so long.
Okay. Okay. First of all, it has to be said that whatever opens also can close. Whatever you find can be lost. You see. What I'm speaking about is not something that can be found and there remains a finder of it. Please listen. And so it's not that, okay, now I feel, before I feel the doors were opening and yes, okay, I'm getting somewhere. And then slowly it's, oh no, it's closing, I cannot, no, nobody can start closing, you see. This door is not the true door. It's not true door. It still is being evaluated by someone, an entity you call yourself, or in the mind. You're saying, look, now it's closing, okay, look, you lost it again. And this can go on until something is recognized, the sense of the one who gets things or finds things, and if you find something, it is so priceless, you have to protect it. And can you protect it? Can you hold on to it? No, you cannot do it. I would be giving you a burden to say, look, take it now. Make sure you never take your eyes off it. Bedtime. Would it not be a burden? If you were given the job, you have to look after this. Don't, if you take your eyes off it, it will vanish. Would that not be a burden? It is not like that, you see. It is not a door that's going to open and you must quickly go through. It is not like this. So, all these things we must taste, we must try maybe for a time. Because the mind imagines many ways to how to enter, you see. And all of this is based upon the idea and the identity of a single personhood, you see, of someone who must make it through that door. And I'm in, or something, you see. Just like we are in this hall, we feel we must go into heaven or into the truth. But the truth, actually, the self, the God self, your true self, is the constant. Everything else is the variable. Meaning your feelings, the thoughts about it, all of that is generated in the mind that is presently holding the sense of your identity as a person. And it's always going to fluctuate. If it is depending upon the mind somehow to take care of the self, it cannot do it. It cannot even take care of itself. Because its nature is always shifting, always changing, you see. It's in the realm of changefulness, you see. Even in this realm of changefulness, it's not a mistake, it's also imbued or pervaded by the pure self, but the self is not a hostage in the realm of the changes. It is independent of it at the same time. You have to find it out, and I wonder if it will happen this morning now, you see. What has to happen? What mistake has to be corrected, you see, for this missing the obvious to end? There's a missing, who is missing the obvious, you see? And what is the obvious? Even the self cannot be said to be obvious. Obvious to who? Obvious to itself. But for speaking sake, I say, we're missing the obvious. Because the reality of ourself, the sense of ourself as the starting point, the measuring place of what is good or bad, you see, is also part of the trouble, you see. We feel to ourselves we are the real place. We are factually here, and the self is something we are getting closer to. We're moving closer to the self. So the mind has also created a sense, subtly, of a kind of objective goal that we as an object is slowly moving, but it's not that. The one who is evolving, the self which is growing, evolving, is evolving inside its own infiniteness. You don't realize it yet. I'm speaking words that maybe you're not grasping properly. So what practical steps or move can happen now? What to say to you? If you don't hold on to any ideas right now, and it's possible, anyone can work with my advice and guidance now. If you simply just leave aside all the memories of yesterdays, of your failures and successes and all of these things, and the story of yourself, just disregard it for a moment. You don't have to kill it, you don't have to bury it, just leave it now. Don't include that in this time with me. So about past, we don't talk, just as an invitation. And about the future and so on, how you wish it to be, and putting so much hopes. Because in our minds, we're always going to be better tomorrow, Our diets start tomorrow, our good behavior start tomorrow, we're going to get married tomorrow. Today, what about today? What about now? So right now, I'm saying, okay, even about any future thinking, any thinking about future or about past, just drop all these things. Is it possible that we can just leave aside these? No, don't pick up anything. So where does that leave us now? Let's say in this present moment, without past and without future, not engaging with these thoughts. And it is possible to be empty of them, so leave that now. So even the present moment, there's still some activity, a tendency to be interpreting even the present moment. So even this, we will drop it. Let's be direct and simple in it. So don't be a container for thoughts and memories and projections and so on. Can you follow with me? So all these things, we won't speak about them just while we are standing and talking here. Just drop everything. And you don't have to drop things one by one, item by item. You can simply just cut, like flicking the switch on giving attention to past or future and so on. So if this is done, what remains? Examine what remains. What remains? And look at that. Don't pour it into words just now. Just look. Just be. You're not a container of concepts, not a memory bank now. Leave all these things. If whatever thoughts and feelings and memories were here could be taken out, then let them go for a moment. Until you come to a place where there's nothing that can be taken out. There's nothing left to be taken out. Meaning all these things are secondary to you. Something was there before all of them. That you cannot take out. And even the sense of being someone who can take something out, that also take it out. Leave it alone. What remains? And to whom am I speaking also? Who will carry out this advice? The intelligence of the being hears my words, understand them, accept them, and in accepting them, everything falls into natural alignment by themselves. There is no physical putting something, physically doing anything. It just happens. You are empty, 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 beyond even the concept of emptying or emptiness. What really is here? My question is, whatever is here, is it a construction? I'm asking now everybody, the whole room, whatever remains, if all these things are left aside, all these things that I talk about can be left aside. Is possible or not? Yes. What remain now? What remain? Is it a construction? Is it something that has to be kept up? No. Is there an effort to be here? No. Is it possible that such a state is here, which you say is without effort, can exist like this? Does it need words and concepts? Does it need a past? Does it need a future? Okay, let's stop for a second then. How do we know this? How do we know this thing? It is natural to you. You didn't have to research. You don't have to go to Wikipedia. You don't have to go to Google. Your own self, you know. Just this, just simple thing. We're leaving everything, these things, for a moment. My question now, is it only possible for a few moments? Is it only possible for a few moments? Is it only like bearable as a exercise for a few moments? You're holding your breath. Okay, it's over. Oh, God, thank you. Wow, that was great, but I can't keep it up. Is there anything like this? So having just not following the usual habit to go to left or to right or to go with the mind flow and the usual habits of thinking or the projections about how we want to be and who is this one, you see, and being this way and being that way and coming and going and finding and losing. So all this, just drop. Then I ask again, what remain that cannot be taken out? Because it was not put in. It is just here by itself. Don't give this to your mind also. It's enough, neat, direct. You don't have to think about it. Think about it is already gone. Just it. So you have taken out everything, past, future, relationships, dreams, projections, fantasies, everything. Just switch off for a moment, okay? Are you gone? No. This you that is here, is it an object? Take your time, be very clear and honest about it. Whatever is here, just whatever it is that is here, I tend to call it the isness. It is not relying upon past or looking forward to any future. It doesn't need it. It is already perfect unto itself. Does it have any aspiration? Means it wants something for later? You?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. What? Does it want something?
It wants something more than what it is. It wants something like that man has.
You know, you think you're talking about the right thing here because your person should be taken out of the deal. Is it the person that's left? Whatever it is that can fluctuate, that can be this now and later, well, not quite this, that is all gone. That is not reliable. It never has been reliable. The nature of the mind and the person is that it's always fluctuating. It's not stable. Does not something within us know this? Be in that knowing place. Same thing. The one is saying, yes, I want what this one, you see, is still retaining, and this has been the habit, retaining a link with that personal identity that wants something. I'm asking you to look from the place where there's no desire. And I'm asking if this is a true place. It's gone beyond personal identity, any classification of race and gender and religion and type and so on. Is it a type, what is left here? Are we together on this or not? Yes. So I'm asking you now to cooperate with this, because you see, the mind says, no, I want what he had. So if you never heard him, what would you be able to follow? If he didn't speak before you and you didn't hear anything about it, would you be better able to follow what I'm speaking?
I would, but there's a sense of, is this it? Is this all?
Who is saying that? Who is speaking? Who is assessing that? Does it know all to say, is this it? Is this all? Can it grasp all? That voice, it's a scam, it's not true. That says, oh, is this it? Who is it speaking to? It's speaking to the remnants of the person who is still there wanting, and they're speaking, is this it? But it's not enough. I want what he has. He seems to have everything. He seems to have everything. I, who is who, don't have that yet. I want that. So this voice, if you listen, you're not trusting my word. It is choosing its own opinion. Yeah, yes. Okay, Mooji, that's, but I want what he has. When you get what he has, you won't be there personally. The one who is saying, I want it, won't be there to say, thank you, I'm pleased now. The receiver will not be there. Yesterday I hinted at this because somebody say, you see, I am ready. Someone was speaking, say, okay, would you do it now? Like, do it now. I'm ready. I say, the one who wants it and who is ready is in the way. Can you understand this thing? It's a subtle thing, and we trip over ourselves. We don't. What's he speaking? If I am in the way of what I want, then who wants it? So again, I'm saying, just work with me, trust me on it, if you can. If you can't, then you just forget. Then maybe your mind is going to say, but do I deserve what he has? Here's the trouble start. So I'm bypassing all of this. I say, leave all these things alone, which you can do, to just, okay, don't go there, don't go with that for a moment. Stay empty, don't collect. Don't go shopping through the senses and the mind for anything. Just be, and listen. Can you stay with me? And until you're not able to. If I say, leave these things, it's okay. And then don't bother with that. Past, future, nothing. Leave this. How are you here without expectation or without what you may call sentiment, or memory. Just leave all these alone. And now, by leaving them, you can fully examine, you see, are you lacking without them? Is something deeply, and say, oh, Mooji, can I just keep this because so important? No, leave everything. If you do, then you can answer my question. As you are now, are you lacking something vital to you? Have I made you miserable? Oh, you've taken all my sweeties. No. Have you lost anything at all? No. What remains here, right now? Is it waiting for something? Are you all on board with this?
Yes.
Pay attention. What are you experiencing now? Is it a mood? No. Does it have a shape or a form? Is it personal? Is it a person? Don't imagine anything at all. Don't imagine, don't touch anything imagined. Otherwise, what your experience will not be sincere. There's no need to project, to create, to invent anything at all. Just as you are. Sober seeing. What remains here? Does it have any judgments towards this world or towards any being? No. Can it suffer from sickness? Really look. Can it become depressed? Is it missing anything at all? No. Does it want anything at all? Are you imagining this? No. What season is it here in this place?
Season of peace.
Is it night or day? Nothing. Is it boring? Is it exciting? No. Is it dead? Is there any boundary for it beyond which it does not exist? Please be honest in yourself about that. No? Does it believe in things? No. Now I ask again like this. You are discovering this now. But where has it been all your life? Where? Yes. can it forget? Does it need to remember? Was it created? Was it born? Similar question. Was it born? Can it die? This is my question. Can it die? Again, can it leave? Is it attached to another state? Is it a state? Then for now I ask one question. Just how close is it to you? Are we near, close, or one with? So again, I am just to recap what we are saying, that it is not an object what remain here, simply by just not engaging about past and history or clinging to some shape that we are calling ourselves, just for a few moments. Just suspend that. Was it to any detriment to yourself to suspend that engagement? No. And then I say also about future, we need not be concerned about the future right now. You can spare 15 minutes to look like this. The world is not going to say, you owe me 15 minutes, where were you 15 minutes? You can take this 15 minutes and say, okay, I'm not going to engage with the usual habits of projecting about future or reminiscing about the past or even the present moment, assessing what's going on around me, interpreting what's happening in life. No, even this, it can be suspended. And yes, it can be suspended, that activity. It may seem to come back. Why? Because of the force of habit. Can you see this? Many things, force of habit is coming back. Can the force of habit, when these habits are coming back, can they erase this? Can they replace this? No. It's no judgment, it's no form, it's no shape, it's no size. There's no boundary for it beyond which it cannot go. It cannot leave because it never came. We are discovering it now. But I ask you, where has it been until today? He says, it's always been here. Is there anything more important than this to discover? Is it hiding? Is it missing you? Is it missing you? No. Then I ask also, was it born? I also, next to this question, I ask, you sure you're not imagining this or creating this thing? Yeah. I ask, was it born? You say, no, it was not. I say, can it die? No, it cannot die. Then finally I ask, so what do we have to do to get to there? Because it sounds pretty good. what transportation to take to get there, because that sounds like the best deal in town. I mean, where to go? Huh? How far you must travel to get there? You say no distance. So is it fair to conclude that what your answers are referring to is your own true self? Which is where?
Here.
Here. The habits of so many years, maybe lifetimes also, I don't know. They will swim back in to check out. Any business today for me? And they seem familiar, you know, and very much also taken to be ourselves. Your original question that triggered this introspection now was coming from that place of, you know, yes, I want to be like, you know, can I have what he has? Where are you now?
I'm following your direction, not to be judging or distracting or.
Yeah, what have you found anything out of this exercise, this guidance?
I find a place that's familiar, which is a place of space, of freedom. Nothing spectacular.
Not spectacular, okay, fine.
Familiar, free.
Yes.
Easy.
Yes. Unlike what he has. Just checking. Or maybe a little bit less than what he has. Don't bring your mind into it. Just you genuinely look. Because mind, from the mind will always come to say, you know, to send you on another journey. That was very close. You know, very close. Now come with me. Whatever, okay? And we have been gullible, all of us is gullible to this. And we were intended to be, for a while, to be immersed in the language of duality, of feeling, yes, I'm feeling good today, what about, you know, oh no, I'm not feeling good anymore, and up and down, and then in this field of constant movement, we want to be stable. How is possible, you see? So in the realm of changefulness, what is by nature changeful, let it be, don't let it flow. And even the one also who is saying, yes, I want this, is also in the flow. But is this in the flow? The flow emanates out of it, somehow it is dancing this life. And yet, even to come to the position, you may say, of the witness or the observer, unless the sense of the doer is already whetting the appetite of your spirit to say, yes, yes, yes. It's possible. In fact, life is so much more generous, more fluid and harmonious when I, little Mr. Me, is not intruding on it so much. The me wants to be king in all of that. But it is an imposter, no? And only thing keep it alive is the energy that you put, you being who? Your consciousness, the dynamic presence, the sense I am, the child of the Absolute. With this form, the consciousness can taste experiencing and diversity. The dance of duality, it can experience all this movement. See? And we love it. We love experiencing. As soon as the manifestation came upon us, we fell in love with experiencing. We love every part of it, in fact. We kind of love and hate it. But from the place of the real, which I'm saying, of the constant, have you in your life so far found anything that you can say, this is consistently constant and unchanging? No. Including yourself, who wishes to evaluate, are also inside the dance of changes. Until perhaps now. An aspect of ourself seems to be very much in the movement, in the great river of life, still perceiving. The senses are still very present. Your memory, knowledge can be still present. But now, being given the chance and coming to that seeing in which all things are perceived or perceivable, but yet you are not held hostage by any of them. You being what? Your person? Can your person evaluate the isness? Can it be one with in a conscious way? You must have somehow slipped out of that mode in order to recognize what I'm referring to as the isness, or pure awareness. That is another name I can give to it. The root of all this dance. And I often say, my God, you don't yet realize what you are discovering. We are just on the, in a sense I can use a dualistic term, we are on the tip of the iceberg.
So when you say like that, Guruji, wow, that's what I want. That's what I want. That's what I think of that phrase that you use. I'm on the tip of the iceberg.
If you follow and stay put, what must you do from here? Having come to this recognition, what is there to do? What is there to build? I will tell you, simply be there with this seeing. Digest this seeing. Marinate your attention, your being, in this gift of seeing. It might seem a very placid and naive advice to give, but I should be doing something. Well, you who? Just somehow in the recognition of this, just be where this recognition is. Just be there. Acknowledge it. Respect it. That is true self-respect. Enjoy it. Love it. Be it. Just that. And it will continue to open up like a flower to the sun. I'm borrowing from duality to say these things. So don't hold any picture of that. But I speak to, in the language of your heart, that no, trust this, and you'll see. Because for a long time we have been acclimatized to a certain way of functioning in consciousness. And so we tend to pull things into our groove so that we can understand them in the way that our conditioning has prepared us to see. But that limitation is going to open up now. It's going to take on a universality about it. I'm not going to ask you to come to satsang with notebook and things and all, you know. No, just you. Just be here. Be like a sponge that is just pulling in all that you are exposed to. And you see that gradually, yeah? Anyway, even from of now, don't look about the future of the isness. You just be now. Just always be now. So that you don't get into this mistake of waiting. Because this is another trick of the mind, to be waiting. Waiting to arrive at where you are? I don't know. Again, I remind you of Rumi's poem, knocking at the door. Suddenly it opens. I've been knocking from inside. It is the same thing, but I'm here. I didn't send you to China to say, look, you know, the self is at the moment in China. Go to Beijing. Go to Beijing now. Go to Beijing now. No, right here, where you're standing here. But maybe sometimes we don't want to put the mind aside because I think, I actually kind of need that. I said, no, trust. Leave this. By leaving what I call the mind for now, you find you're still here. And it makes a difference. I'm not asking you to calculate or to invent or to imagine or to project or to create, just as you are. This is why it is so accessible. Nobody can say, I'm not good enough to do this. To do what? To listen and to understand? And then, okay, maybe there are some people who are not, I'm not ready to do it. Okay, good, it's okay. It's okay. But if you are able to understand and follow, you already are in the direct experience and the direct recognition of what, and it is not trapped in some small bubble. It is not a slice of the cake. There's a sense of an allness about it. And yet, I say a sense, because still the old identity, the seeds, are still here. And gradually those seeds and their influence will continue now to diminish in the rising light of your recognition. So just be with this and you see. Be loyal to, be faithful to it. Trust it. You will grow in this. Until gradually you see, but I don't have to keep going to it because I am it. It will come. But don't let your mind deduce that as a kind of cleverness. Actually, you must chew and swallow the food, I'm telling you. And be with it. And as you begin to taste the real juice of your own being, it will be enough to be encouraged by that. Yes, that is the thing you may say if you even may feel, I'm falling in love with that. And then the lover and beloved become one. But every moment along the way is a fullness. Every moment spent in this is itself a fullness. Otherwise, you'll be in the state like the mind while it's having breakfast, it's thinking, what's for lunch? And when it's eating lunch, what's for dinner tonight? You know, always on to the next. And here, it's as though there's such a stillness, such a silence. But it's not a force. It's not that it's not a straitjacket. It's a stillness, a peace, a deep joy. It's alive it is giving life to life. And you will know it. I don't want to speak so much about it, but if I could speak to the end of time, I cannot conquer it with words. But I tell you enough to kickstart your own engine into this seeing. And just like push that, your battery is flat, you need a push. Push, push, lot of energy. You turn the key, no, push, vroom. Huh? And then you have to push more? No. You say, oh, thank you. Oh, you get in, no? And we can go. That is mind. We push, effort to understand. It's all part of this. It's all leading up, was always leading up to this. Preparing, refining, strengthening, until somehow that receptivity is reached in you, that you're open to follow simple advice that I've given. Because even this simple advice and the fruits that come out of it, no, is available in the world, but most people no, man, give me a small one. They don't want what to do. You cannot force. You can only come. I cannot force you to fall in love. But once you begin to taste the fruits of your seeing, you will not need so much outer support. It's like if you fall in love, deeply in love, do you need someone else to remind you to remember your beloved? No. From your own heart generates that power. How can you forget? Whatever you're doing, the beloved is in you. When the beloved is also seated in your own heart, how far you will have to go. And I hope to be here long enough to see that bear fruit in you, that you can say, okay, now is your turn to speak, and I can listen to you and enjoy the fruits of your own seeing. Why not now? On the second day of the retreat, is the isness sustained by imagination? By determination? By technique? What's the problem? No. Because I am called to you because you say like this, you know, I want this, I want to know. And are we making a huge mistake? Are we hugely deluding ourselves? That it could be as simple as this? Yes, it can be as simple as this. Each will find their own way. Someone will want to do a lot of spiritual gymnastics or whatever. That is also fine if that is in your destiny. If you say, no, I don't trust this way because, it's got too much to do with, this thing and not this, then go your way. That's fine. Bless you. But if it speaks to your heart, then God has made it so. That you will understand, that you will find Him, you will find me, you will find this right where you are. To show that that which exists is not at any physical distance from you. And this is why I said from the beginning, we are going to start at the end. When you least expect to find, it will come upon you. Now tell me, what should be your practice. There's no cynicism in my words. Henceforth, what should you do from here? What will you do? You are who that I'm speaking to. Don't hold on to any concepts. Don't have any favorite concepts for now. Just be empty as you are. In not clinging to any technique, anything from them, not clinging. Let them be there. Let the play of past and the sense of, let that play, but you stay here. You stay, you prioritize this place of being here. Yeah? I don't say, don't go. Yeah, move. Move in the natural gesture of your being. Move. Can you move one step out of this? No. You must prove that to yourself. Can you make one step out of isness? Where will that step land in where? So this, you must sit with this so that it is confirmed unto yourself and within yourself. It is not just something, okay, I must remember this. I, as who, must remember it. And yet, it will be a natural feeling to say, yes, I need to go and sit with the isness. It is okay. Keep sitting. Be one with it. Is there two factors here? The one sitting with the other one? Well, let's have a look. What arises as I here? Is it a fixed meaning? When the sense I arise here, it denotes a person, or the sense of conscious presence, or the God self? Who says, who is speaking, who rises as I here? Right now I won't go so much into this, because again, those of you who have been following self-inquiry, this will hold you in good stead. If you come in and we are meeting through the invitation, you're in good stead also. You're in good place. Stay with it. If you don't understand something, just stay in the place of the isness. Don't give so much importance to mental understanding or to the mind is saying, yeah, but you didn't know this, you should need to find this out. No, just stay. Sitting on the lap of God. Just stay and be with it. If you fall asleep, wake up again in it and stay with it. It's not a task. If it is a task, it's a task of supreme joy. And there's no one left over to be proud. I did it. I got finally what this man got. I got it. And I who got it is who? Get rid of this one. Are these words landing in you?
Yes.
Yes. Because for this reason you came. I don't simply want to exchange concepts with you. It has to combust into experience. In this room are beings who will be irrefutably one with this. Are you one of them? It is said in some ancient scriptures that this era of our existence is called the Kali Yuga, not a very good age, an age of much confusion and darkness, they say. And these yugas can go on for a very long time. But it did not say beings will not wake up. And maybe even more so. Even more so, they will wake up. Will you be amongst them? Yes. I count you in.